anymore. But because sex is not really a deal breaker for her, she knows how to compartmentalize her physical attraction to her husband and focus on other aspects of their marriage. But men can't do that. See, once you become physically unattractive to a man, it kills everything for him. And that's the reason why a lot of men honestly should not get married. They shouldn't, because here's the thing. At the end of the day, if you want to be in a long-term monogamous relationship and you end up having kids and you want to have a stable two-parent household, like you want to raise your kids in a stable two-parent household with no dysfunction, you need to make sure that you are okay with the ebbs and flows of a woman's sex drive, especially if she has to work too. Sometimes you're just going to have to suck it up, go to the bathroom, and beat your meat. I don't drink whole milk. Sometimes you're just going to have to suck it up when your wife is tired. She's like, not tonight. You're just going to be like, damn, okay. But get up, be a man about your shit, go to the bathroom, and go let that nut out. And then take your ass back to bed if you want to be in a long-term monogamous relationship. But if you know your sex drive is just too much for, it's just you can't just settle for some lotion in your hand, then you need to go ahead and tell your wife, look, this is not going to work. This is not going to work, and marriage just isn't for me anymore. So you need to go and people have forgotten marriage does have normal sacrifice. Well, here's the issue. Quan, are you aware of semen retention? It doesn't work. I'm very familiar with NoFap and semen retention. It's a bunch of bullshit. Listen, you are a man. You have biological needs. Every 3 days, your testicles will refill with semen. If you don't let that semen out, your inevitably your testes is going to figure out a way how to release it for you. Don't fall for the internet hype. Listen, a lot of people are just making bullshit no-fap content just to get social media engagement. It's a very trendy topic right now, and a lot of YouTube content creators are essentially creating content taking advantage of the vulnerabilities and the insecurities of young men who feel like the reason why they can't get their lives together is because they are addicted to porn, and that's not the issue. A lot of men are not addicted to porn. What men are really craving, it's normal for you to have a high sex drive as a young man. You are a young man filled with an endless amount of testosterone. You are supposed to be having sex. But the problem is, if you are unattractive and you don't have your shit together, it's going to be very hard for you to find a spouse or to find a girlfriend to let that nut off. You can't keep beating your meat. You're going to have to get some pussy. It's different. What happened to use your hand until 100 grand? Well, I still stand by that to some degree, but I'm not a fan. I'm more of a fan of no porn. You can always tell when guys watch too much of it. Um, you probably could, but that's also because men. Well, let me just say this, and I know be. I'm just gonna come out the gate and say this. A lot of women, unfortunately. See, here's the thing, guys. We got to be honest. Y'all ain't just gonna be able to get away with vanilla Bible sex. You're not just gonna be able to lay on your back or just flip over on your knees and let him get some doggy. Y'all gonna have to step your game up. Men at their root are nasty, freaky. Men want to be able to do some nasty, freaky shit. And the thing is, if you're not gonna do that in today's society, don't bother dating. don't bother dating. Because there are plenty of other women out there that will, yeah, they gonna get down and nasty. At least that's what guys are looking for. That's the reality. I mean, y'all just gonna have to deal with that. You're gonna have to step the game up. How? A lot of women, they just, y'all, they too vanilla. Y'all trying to be princesses in the bed. No, man. Listen, at the end of the day, most men want whores. They don't want no. They want a whore. I'm just being honest with you. And when I say a whore, what I mean is men want women who are just unhinged when it comes to their sexuality. And there are some women out there that will take it there. Unfortunately, a lot of you other ladies, y'all need to catch up. And when I say be a whore, I mean you have to be. Today's society, these young kids want, these young men want to be nasty. I mean, you got to be. You can't just be out here just sucking dick. You got to be goblin. 53 here. I want regular missionary, not Dubai. See, you on that. You on that Danny Glover from Color Purple. Um, that come on now, man. We beyond that now. But you 53, but man, take you get in the gym, work on that agility. Work on that agility. Get in the gym and work on that. Get that back. Get them hips all loose. Cause I'm telling you right now, I'm letting you know right now. I ain't trying to be TMI, but when I was in my peak, my wife will tell you 5 times a day. 5. I will fuck you up. 5. 5. Some women, they just. But here's the thing: not all women can handle that. Now I'm down to 5 times a year. Yeah, unfortunately, that happens when you get married. 5 is not a lot. Was you paying bills? No, you don't have to do no paying bills. Listen, Quan, I just realized I don't have the dent on my forehead. What dent? What's the dent mean? 5 a day, yeah. 5 a day. To a 5 times, I had no soul. Was I unemployed? No, I was working a job. I don't have kids. And at this point, I don't want any. I just want some pussy all day. Kids at this age, I don't want that. I don't. I'm 40. I don't seem that nasty. Oh, trust me, you don't know. But how much do I want it now? All the time. All the time. Do you think exes can get back together? It depends. I mean, it depends. It depends. I don't know. I've never been in a situation like that before. But I'm sorry, but if I'm going through a whole entire breakup, there's a reason why your ass broke up. So what freaky stuff women need to do, Quan? Everything. Y'all, listen. And let me tell you something. Quan, you're going to be a menace after your transformation. Oh my God. I know. I'm going to have to get some little young boo thing and put her on an IUD. What freaky stuff? Man, I'm telling you, everything. Like, y'all, you know what I mean by freaky. If you gotta ask, freaky, like nasty. There, there's levels though. No, I ain't talking about no weird stuff. Like you don't have to shit. You don't have to take a boo boo on me. You don't gotta pee on me. You don't have to do nothing weird stuff like not weird stuff. To be honest with you, I think the word freaky is really. I hate that word. Um, she said he's an Aries. Enough said. I'm an Aries too. Like I rough, sweaty all day long. Sometimes you just sleep in it. Like you just bed sheets just nasty. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Room just smell funky, right? Hot. You just sweat. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But see, some people they a little bit too prude for that. They a little bit too prude for that. Quan, are you aware of Dread, the Peace Star? I don't know who Dread is. I don't know who that is. But Brandon said yes, yes, God. Oh my God. No, that's a long term. I'm telling you right now, long term monogamy is not going to work if both of y'all are not pretty much, if your sex drive's not dialed up. I'm telling you right now, if y'all ain't jumping each other's bones left and right, it ain't gonna work. You have got to be fucking like round the clock. Even when kids are not around, y'all got to be able to like let that man get up in them guts. And then like the thing is, you have got to be the also right from day one. And the thing is, you got to another thing, another consistent problem that I see a lot too. And it was a black lady on the app. She was talking about this. Women got to learn how to initiate. You can't always expect that man to come and be like always trying to get you all started up. No, your man come home, you should just surprise him. Like you in the bed naked, playing with your coochie, and he's like, "What the fuck?" Like just crazy shit, like stuff that y'all could just be driving down the car, driving down the street, and you just start putting your hands in his pants. Like spontaneous shit that would just have him be like, you know, like that's what men like. That's what men want. Men don't always want to be the ones that have to be like, come on, come on, come on, come on. Women already be saying they get rejected when they do that. Oh no, listen. If a man rejects that, more than likely he's probably gay or bisexual. That's what that is. That's probably gay or bisexual. Or he's probably going through one of his moments where he really wants some dick or some booty, and he ain't feeling the pussy at the moment. That's pretty much what that is. If a man at a certain point, here's the thing, ladies. At a certain point, if you're with a man and that man is not trying to fuck you all the time, one or two things. Either you have become unattractive to him, so that's your red flag. Once a man stops asking for sex, he getting it from somewhere. Trust me. He ain't no there's not this idea of men having erectile dysfunction or they can't get it up low T-top. That shit is now listen, let me tell you something. That shit is rare. That shit is rare, okay? Most men are not walking around here with low testosterone like that. They're not. These guys just want to have an excuse, quite honestly, to get when you hear a lot of these guys talk about motherfucking, oh, I went to the TRT clinic and got my T levels checked and blah 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 blah. Listen, they just saying that because the truth is painful erections. You got a painful that happened to you, David? But the truth is what's happening is, okay, these dudes, they get married and their wives pretty much become unattractive to them because of kids. Their bodies change and morph, and people hit a wall, y'all. People will hit a wall when them genetics really start kicking into high gear. And let me tell you, a lot of, and I'm not trying to be funny when I say this, especially with the Mayo sapiens, the palm colored people, they hit that wall hard. They hit that, let me tell you, a Mayo sapien woman will turn 35, you think that bitch was 55. They hit that shit hard. The dudes too. You be like, how old are you? Oh, I'm 29. Damn. Like, motherfucker, you look like you're about 48. They got all them wrinkles in the corners of the eyes because you know what that is? They be out in that sun drinking all them Budweisers. They love boats. Male sapiens love to be on boats. Go to the lake. They be out in that sun all day long. Just baking in that sun. No melanin, just baking. You a whole ass pink person in the raw open sun down in Florida. You are not built for that, Heather, Tom. Take your ass back inside. And they hate wearing SPF too. It's a thing. White folks, it's a thing. A lot of these carnivores, they think being a carnivore, they don't need to wear a sunscreen. You take so they be hitting that shit hard. They hit that wall hard. And that's because they be spending way too much time in the sun. Because white folks love to be in the sun. See, black folks, we don't be in the sun like that. We don't. We ain't we like we had 500 years of slavery. Being not in the sun. On top of that, we was already coming from Africa being in the sun. We not here in America. We want to be inside with some AC. Got us fucked up. That's what people are, oh my God, black don't crack. Yeah, because we don't go outside. We ain't being out in the motherfucking sun. We ain't trying to do no nature shit. Exactly. That's why we all got vitamin D deficiency. Exactly. Exactly. Because black folks, black don't crack, but when you test them vitamin D levels, our shit be like 5. and our levels should be like 35 and 40 and shit. Wait, so the sun bad for us too, even with SPF? It can be for black people, but we could withstand being out in the sun a lot longer than white people. Black people need to be out in the sun a lot longer. Like we need to be out there. Like they only could be out there for like an hour. Black folks could be out there for like 6, 7 hours and shit. We just built to be in the sun, and it's worse when you live in these northern climates like Chicago, Detroit, New York, and whatnot. Because we only get like in Chicago, we only get like technically 75 days of sunshine a year. Like we get like what do they call? I think it's a UV scale. Most days it's like 3 or 4. But see, I grew up in Miami, and I can tell you right now that shit makes a difference. Look at black people who live in the South compared to the North. Black folks down South look different. They're darker, they're bigger, they're more built, they have more bone density, they're taller. But you look at black people up in the North, they all short, small. Quan, how you know a guy falling in love with you? You know, you know. Listen, these questions, you know when a man's really into you. You really know. What about Midwest black people? That's what I'm talking about. Well, I'm talking about the upper Midwest. The upper Midwest. Chicago, Minneapolis, Detroit. Now, I don't know about no damn Kansas and shit, but listen, you know when a man is into you. If a man is always on, men are physical. Men are visual and physical. If a man is constantly touching you, kissing you, if a man ain't doing that, something's wrong. That means you've become unattractive to him, or he fucking somebody else. But here's the other unfortunate reality, ladies. You gotta understand. Sometimes I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but men are capable of loving multiple women. A lot of women are not prepared to hear that. Men can love multiple women. Yeah, they can. Because men, just by nature, women could probably do it too. They could probably love some women could do that. Some women could probably do that. Not all women are not built for that. They're not biologically speaking. They're not built for that. Nah, y'all not built for that. Y'all say you all are. Trust me, you're not built for that. You're not built for that. And if you think you are, just multiply that times 10. That's the level of you. That's comparing men and women. Like even with sex drives, the sex drive of a woman, they think they're us. All talk. Exactly. I'm telling you. Every time I hear women talk about, oh, my sex drive is so high. Listen, women don't realize, y'all. Let me tell you guys something. Men think about pussy every minute. Okay, it ain't. Well, I'm not gonna say every minute. It depends on how old you are. But let me tell you, men are thinking about sex all the time. Women are not like that. They're not. The sex drives are just. They just. Me too, but I'm bi. Now, are there outliers? Are there certain women who think about it all the time, like they just horny? Yeah, there are. And those are the ones. That's usually the guys. That's at you. To be honest with you, I'm gonna be honest with you. The whores make the best wives. I'm gonna say that again. Men are not gonna leave a whore. They're not. Men are not gonna leave the whores. They're not. I realized this a while ago. Men are not gonna leave the whores. They're not. Cause I'm gonna be honest with you. It doesn't take that much to please a man. You just gotta get him really nasty, raw, sweaty sex, and just not talk too much. Let him do his own thing. cook, make sure the house is just not dirty. And the man, he's gone. Go, telling you, just let that. I'm telling you, for the average man, you just give that man some raw, nasty, sweaty sex, and stop making that one pot of spaghetti for the whole entire week. Don't no man want that. Have some pot roast, some potatoes. Listen, you come home, you in some short shorts with your ass hanging out, with like top titties, and then let me tell you something else too. I feel I feel that's the reason Jalen Green is with the 304 Drea. Probably, but isn't she like 20 years older than him? She got to be putting on him real good too. Like that pussy must be good. It must be so good. He probably be crying up in that shit too. He probably be crying. Now that's when you know you got some good. When you ever cried in some pussy, that's like you know you ladies. That's how you know you got some good pussy. When a man done cried in your shit, just be prepared. He gonna stalk you. I'm telling you. Sometimes doesn't all pum pum feel the same? No. What? Hell no. Sometimes it's not even about that all pum pum is the same. It's the fact that women just know how to put it on a man. They know how to really, they really know how to extract that motherfucking nut. Like they just know how to really freak a man in a way that he'll be crying. He'll be crying up in that motherfucker. And then he get named. Let me tell you, you know how you know he's the immediate turn off. Oh my god, what do you mean? If a man ain't crying in your pussy, that means you ain't got no good pussy. That shit, he's supposed to be screaming and yelling. I'm telling you. But I'm telling you, and a man, and see, a lot of times when you got that type of pussy that will make a man cry up in it, he don't want no other man to have it. You think size matter, Quans? You mean you talking about eggplant size? Yes and no. It matters, but then it doesn't matter. That's a very tricky one right there because I think when it comes to like eye candy and like the visual aspects of seeing a man that's very well endowed, of course, a bunch of women are gonna be like, "Oh yeah, 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 I want that. Look at that dick. Oh, it's so big." And da 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 da. But the truth is, deep down inside, most women don't. They don't really want that. They don't really want that. What they really want is just a man who is gonna have a thick and long enough penis that it's not gonna hurt them, but it's gonna do the job. But here's the thing: it's not even about the size. Even it's about the man and does he know how to really use it? Because let me tell you, there's some men out there. They only working with about a 5.5, and they will fuck a woman up. They will, because a lot of times they probably athletic. They probably lean. They really know how to hunch. A lot of men don't know how to hunch either. That's the other thing. A lot of men don't know how to hunch. Then it also depends on how much she likes you too, yeah. Cause yeah. But I think the other thing too is size. See, bigger women, they need bigger meat to cut through all that booty to get to the cooch. But sometimes those little them petite girls, they but see, I don't know. And then also it every woman is different. Every woman has her different needs and size, but what I will tell you though, some of those women, y'all, once you start messing with them big dick niggas, y'all, you can't go back. Your sense of normal is fucked now. Cause now you done linked up with Quantavious now, and he walking around with that elephant tusk, and your ass was jumping on that dick, and then on top of that, your ass started busting it down early when you was in high school and whatnot, and you done had the whole football team run through you. By the time you graduate from high school, you done already got 10, 15 bodies, and you used to them big King Kong dicks, and so your ass can't do normal now. That's the problem. I'm gonna be honest with you. Uh, White women do it all the time. Do what all the time? That's the problem with a lot of the a lot of Sharkeishas. Y'all, I'm telling you, you have got there's. What about post nut clarity? I'm gonna get to that in a second. But what do you mean by post nut clarity though? Because I'm telling you right now, the biggest thing that women can do to really mess themselves up is and it's so funny. It was an old black lady on the app. She was talking about this shit too. I was dying laughing. Uh, I was dying laughing when she was talking about this. She was like, "Oh no, you ain't gonna have no big nigga, big dick nigga mess me up." It was like an old 80-year-old black lady. This girl was interviewing her grandmother, asking her, about getting with well endowed men, and the grandma was like, "Oh hell nah." Because once you get on that shit, you cannot go back. And it's so true. It's so true. And when you really meet women like that who are like size queens, where they really need that, I'm telling you, that pussy is not good, to be honest with you. Even Ashley Dalton was talking about this. Cause you could mess yourself up sometimes messing with them quante them roughnecks, them hood roughnecks, them thug. That's the reason why a lot of black women they gravitate toward them roughneck niggas, them thug ass niggas, because they usually be the ones with that big long pipe. Even Drewski had made a video about this. Yeah, because them big roughneck niggas, why they gotta be hood? For some odd reason, I just feel like it's always I mean not the big, but the roughneck niggas, the hood niggas. They always seem to be the ones that they be just got elephant tusks. And if that's like your base of reference for dinos, it's gonna mess you up. Cause I can tell you right now, that ain't that ain't representative of the average normal population. You're gonna get about six, five and a half, six, which is not bad because um, in the Middle East, women usually do reconstruction surgery after birth. Really, I didn't know that. I don't believe anything over eight even exists. It's out there, but it's extremely rare. And see, the thing is, a lot of dudes they start watching all this content on the internet, and they thinking that that's what the average woman wants, and they don't. I'll tell you right now, though, if you're fat, if you're a man and you're fat, and you worried about that, drop that weight, and you probably won't have that issue. Drop that weight, because for most men, especially if you're overweight, especially as you get older, that whole entire department it changes dramatically. So you don't have to worry about that when you drop that weight. The average is 5. Yeah, it is 5, and that's actually, when you think about it, that's like my this is like an inch right here. So imagine two of my fingers put together. That's 6 inches. Like that's crazy that you got women out there talking about they need 8 or more. I'm like, damn, bitch, the fuck kind of coochie you got? Baby, you need to stop. But that's what happens when you be messing with them damn Trey Sean's and them them big dick Davions. They think 6 inches is 11. Yeah, I'm telling you, y'all better get you a regular ass 5.5, 6. Don't be out here thinking that the average man walking around is always Tyler. Oh, don't be doing that. Mess your mind, mess your body up like that. But the original subject, the reason why I got on here though, oh, them white guys could be, some of them white guys could be having meat too. They can have them some meat, especially them Eastern Europeans. They be eating all them damn potatoes, so they got some meat. And see, I go to a gym with a lot of Eastern Europeans, them finance bros, Jewish guys. You like white men's, Brenda? Post nut clarity. Okay, so post nut clarity. What exactly do you want to know? I'll tell you this though. Let me just say this. Do you feel like men only get it? Yeah, but there's a lot of shame and guilt around that, to be honest with you. Cause a lot of guys, what do you, what, in what context are you talking about post nut clarity? Because usually what ends up happening is a lot of men go into situations with their blinders on, just ignoring like a multiplicity of red flags. The women get it too, but men, you gotta understand, men be getting drunk off of horniness. It's almost like a drug. Like when a man is on a like men will risk a lot and do a lot of stupid shit to get some pussy. Like, and men will do stupid shit too. Like you meet a girl the first night and you already eat her out. Even when she says some shit like, "Oh, I'm on my period," and it don't matter, because especially them young dudes, they just be so, just so, I gotta get it, I gotta get it, I gotta get it. That's that reptilian brain shit, because their biological drive is just out there, got them just wanting to like just fuck any and everything just to procreate. And it's just an unfortunate reality of nature. Like, nature don't give a shit about if you linking up with the right woman, or no, nature just wants you to go out there, get hard, and just go dig down any and everything that gives you a little bit of attention. But what ends up happening is when you let that nut out and those hormones subside for a while, then you be like, oh my god, I went out there and had sex with a damn baby gorilla, and I ain't used no damn condom. I literally sat up here and had sex with a whole ass baby gorilla with a bonnet on. Got roaches in her apartment. House ain't clean. Dishes all in the sink and shit. And you be like, what the fuck did I do? Yeah, that's what be happening to guys. Cause you just so gone mentally. You looking at this chick thinking your brain will trick you into thinking this bitch is like, Naomi Campbell and whatnot. And after you get that piece of pussy, and then it's like literally the blinders get removed, and then you realize like, oh my god, I done fucking had sex with a whole ass baby gorilla. Precious. And then them dudes, they be so quick too. They be like not wanting to let their homeboys know that they out here messing around with big ass girls and shit. Cause that's one thing too. That a lot of dudes, oh, don't let me tell you, these dudes be out here messing with some broads that they know good and goddamn well. They went back and told their homeboys, yeah, I messed with such and such and such. And I'm like, damn nigga, you was down that bad. Yeah, like damn nigga. Yeah, yeah. Trust me, ladies. And this the problem too. This is the reason why there be so much motherfucking discord between men and women, because a lot of times these guys, they just be so drunk off their horniness that they just going around here screwing any and everything. And what that does is, and I'm not trying to be funny when I say this, but there's a double standard that exists in society where women are more hypergamous, right? Like, women are actively looking for men who they feel as though are going to give them good looking children, good looking healthy children, and also they're looking for a man that's going to pretty much take care of them, okay? And the thing is, because with men, we so damn horny, especially when we're young, right? Women really have their pickings. Women can choose to screw any and every man if they want to. He said Pharaoh. Pretty much. That's really how men are. Like, men be out here like banshees, like be willing to do any and everything just to get some pussy, right? And that's because it's the biological drive. Like, that's just Mother Nature, evolution at peak testosterone. Out here, got guys out here just, as soon as they get a little sniff of coochie, they go crazy. A woman could walk by. Like, you go to the gym and stuff, and you just get a little, you just, in your head can even trick you into thinking you're gonna smell some girl's coochie. She walk by you, oh, you just fucked up in the head mentally, and then you would literally go and start talking to a damn motherfucking Precious, especially when you down it, like, cause here's the thing, especially with dudes who are not, cause here's the thing, is this real? I can't believe people really think like this. Yes, because a lot of times it's dudes when they don't have. He said this is why as retention is important. It's because here's the thing: when the average guy is objectively more ugly than the average woman, right? So the average dude can't go out there and just easily get a 7, 8, or a 9. He can only get maybe at the most a 5, 5.5, and below. Okay. So the thing is, if you're a woman and you a 3.5, you could get a 5. You could get an average dude. The average dude, though, he got to settle for an average woman or a woman below, and that is the problem. Okay, it's just this has been talked about for years now. This is a problem, and I shouldn't frame it as a problem, but this is the essence of the dating market. We live now, and especially with these dating apps, we live in a very hyper, like a very hypergamous situation where Women can get on these damn dating apps and have a million men hit them up because these guys are just so fucking horny and desperate. But on the opposite end, uh, on the opposite end, it's women. I'm sorry. On the opposite end, is men. They just scrolling left and right, just swiping before they. And then you so burnt out as a man that you at this point you're willing to settle for any and everything. Because then you start thinking to yourself, okay, well, and you got it now. You got to be careful with this because let me tell you, if you get with a guy and and you were not his first choice, and he's just now settling for you, he's gonna eventually cheat on you or move on with until somebody gives him more attention. This is the reason why men cheat. Men. If a man is not head over heels in love with you, like he really, like you are the one. You are that princess in his head that's been dialed into his head. If you're not that woman, 9 times out of 10, he's gonna be thinking about other women. He's probably, and a lot of times, see, here's the thing: men don't have options. So if they can't cheat, they can't go after other women because ain't no other woman really giving them attention. So a lot of times they just stuck with you. So they gotta make the situation work. Okay. But women, on the other hand, again, think about this for a second. It's a woman out there right now, 800 pounds, and got a nigga taking care of her, wiping her ass and cleaning her the damn rashes and shit inside of her thighs and whatnot. That you ain't no woman gonna get with an 800-pound man unless she 800 pounds herself. How do we know if he's in love though? Um, you know when a man is in love with you, he's head over heels attached to you. Like he is, you know, There. I mean, there's really no need for explanations, to be honest with you. Now, I know it's my 600-pound examples. More than likely, that's not love. That's just a nigga needing a place to stay and some SSI check money. That's what that is. That ain't no. Oh, no. That nigga need a place to stay. Now, some of them do have kinks and weird fetishes for bigger women and stuff, and they get off on that. But that shit is that no. Nah, those dudes got mental issues. They usually just got out of prison, jail, whatever. But the average dude, he gonna have to settle for somebody who's just as average as he is or below. Now, this is where it changed. This is where it changes, okay? This is where it changes. If that average dude got some money, like money, I ain't talking about, oh, you make $110,000 a year. No, because that ain't money. I'm talking about like you making at least a quarter million or more. Like I'm talking about like you're a doctor, lawyer, you are a entrepreneur, like you are a business owner and you're making a substantial amount of money to the point where you could really take care of a woman. My fiance say there's no such thing as an ugly rich guy. There isn't. Because let me tell you, money will have a woman who's an 8 or a 9. She will literally make that dude who's probably like a 4 out of a 10 hit. That money will make that man look like a damn 8. Because at the end of the motherfucking day, the average woman does not want to work. She don't. She'd rather just have her ass at home, get pregnant, take care of some kids, and go shopping all day long and go do Pilates and yoga. Well, the average woman don't want to work. Why would they? Women ain't designed. Women don't want to do that. They don't. They ain't designed to do that. Women want to be domestic. They want to be at home and they want to take care of their kids and be pretty and dainty. They don't want to be out here. And no real woman wants to go out there and go be out here trying to go half on bills and shit. They're not. So that's the thing. If you not the most attractive man and you just not, you ain't got it like that, you gotta figure out a way how to become a multimillionaire. Now here's the problem with that. You gotta make sure you hold on to your money. You gotta make sure you hold on to your money, because if your ass loses that money, you ain't bringing that money in no more. That woman is gonna suddenly be like, yeah, about that. I've told guys, you can buy me, no one gets me. And a lot of times those dudes, they just be happy to have you, because here's the thing. If you're a man and you're a multimillionaire and you're about a 3.5, 4 on a 4 out of 10, and a woman, you get a woman who's like an 8 or a 9, that alone will make your pussy so good to that man. That man will think that, oh my God. Because he can't believe that he nabbed the woman of his dreams. So that pussy is going to be like spectacular to him. Like that dude that Sheer 7 is married to, I bet you he be nutting up in that thing every other night. And he probably sleep good too. Hey, what's his name? James. I bet you he be busting the biggest nuts up in Sheer 7, and he roll his big ass over, and he goes straight to sleep. He had the best dreams. Cause she probably put that pussy on him so good. But the thing is, it's good to him. And that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Cause all she probably really doing is just keegling that shit up. She just laying there like, uh, uh. She could put a little grip action to it, and you, he be thumping that shit out. 5 minutes, and she probably know what to do to get it over with quickly too. She probably yoni that motherfucker up. She probably she yoni that motherfucker up, and she got James asleep in 5 minutes. He rolled his big ass over, put his sleep apnea mask on, lights out. Cause I know that nigga got a sleep apnea mask. He rolled his big ass over. He put that CPAP machine on. Yep. Lights out, bill pay. Exactly. Exactly. And I just could never be me. Let me look at your picture, Mel. You kind of look like, what's her name? If I didn't know any better, I would have thought you was Karen Steffens, aka Superhead. But um, you'd rather work. don't know. If a nigga is taking care of you, he got millions of dollars. I'm sorry. Now here's the thing. I I I I, I do think that she kind of capped to some degree. She is. She probably she is seven. She kind of strike me as she low key got some cap going on too. She got some cap going on. She ain't being thorough 100%. Cause I'm sorry, but at what point at what point do you really want to get a Quantavious to come and knock that pussy back? But then again, she may not necessarily care about all that anymore. Real talk, she's probably done a very good job of compartmentalizing that need. But I don't know. I don't know. She look like she got some sneaky tendencies to her. I would not be surprised if she, you know, yeah, she may have a boyfriend. Yeah, or she may be cheating on the low. Yeah, who knows? I don't know. Who cares though? And truth be told, James may not even care either, cause um, she does promote cheating and not telling us. Listen, I gotta watch her content, cause if she said that, she ain't lying. See, let me tell you something. Some some people, I'm not gonna go into too many details, but I know somebody whose ex-husband pretty much revealed in therapy that he cheated on her before they got married. Why the fuck would you do that, sir? That is, are you stupid? Listen, I'm not trying to be funny, but if you gonna cheat, take that shit to the grave. And don't feel guilty about it. You did it. And you did it for a reason. You know what you did. And you liked it. Take that shit to the motherfucking grave. Take it to the grave. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. If a man cheats on a woman, I gotta ask myself two questions. Why? 9 times out of 10 is probably because a lot of people be trying to figure out why men do what they do. I'm gonna tell you right now, if a dude is cheating on a drop dead gorgeous woman who was giving him really great sex, 9 times out of 10 he's probably gay or bisexual. And if she catches him having sex with other women, he's not just having sex with other women. He's having sex with men too. He's probably bisexual. That's I'm sorry, that's the culprit behind a lot of these situations. It ain't no old trauma and I can't control myself. No, no, nigga. Because I remember one time I was watching Iyanla Van Zant and this dude had admitted to cheating on his wife with 30 or 50 other women. Yes, he was having sex with other men. He was having sex with other men. He was. You don't, your brain, when, if you're a man and you're wired to be that freaky, your ass, you have sex with other men. You're having sex with other men. Almost all men who are hypersexual like that are bisexual. I'm just gotta be honest with you. No men, and the thing is, and you got to be very careful too, because a lot of these guys, they they get people. Oh, he never gave me any gay vibes or deal. What do you mean? You think all gay men and DL men are walking around here with fucking lists, with broken wrists and twirling and twerking and J setting and stuff? There are a lot of bisexual men. I would argue there's probably way more bisexual men than straight up gay men. There are a lot of men out here who have had trysts with other men, especially in college. Listen, and in high school. Some of these guys, they be, and I'll be questioning, because when I look back on it, no, I ain't walking with a limp. You will never know. Some of these guys I grew up with, and some of these guys that I've known, I'll be like sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, because see, me, I never really had close male friends like that. But then later on in life, as I've gotten older and I've known people, or I've, had other friends and stuff, and then like I started thinking about I remember certain stories that guys would tell me, oh yeah, when me and such we went out, or we used to get girls together, or we used to do this and we do that, and I'm like, so wait a minute, you and such, y'all went to go link up with a chick, so the both of y'all were in a room by yourself, naked, screwing another chick? You're gay. You're bisexual, sir. You've done something. A lot of these dudes, they ain't gonna tell you too. So ladies, I'm letting you know right now, you 9 times out of 10, ladies, if you've had multiple boyfriends in your life, if you've dated around, 9 times out of 10 you have probably slept with a man who is bisexual. And he's probably bisexual, bi-curious, he's probably had experiences with another man. Maybe not necessarily as an adult, but definitely as a teenager slash young adult. They a lot of these young guys, they when they were like 16, 17 years old, um, that's a lie. Okay. If you've had more than 4 or 5 boyfriends, 9 times out of 10, one of those guys, he was either gay, bisexual. And if he hadn't done anything, he eventually got you. He may have not done anything while you were dating him, but as life went on, he definitely eventually did something. He did something. These guys, they be too comfortable. How are y'all running trains together? Y'all watching porn together? Some of these fraternities, listen, I read a story on Reddit. This shit was crazy. And I know these are some black guys too. This has gotta be. Um, and the shit was crazy. I couldn't even believe it when I read this story. I wish I could find it. But the story was, check this out now. These guys, Reddit, a lot of people rely on Reddit. This could have been a lie. I don't know, but it sounded way too convincing. Because I know that I've heard of stories like this before, even when I was an undergrad, almost 20 years ago. Listen, this guy was talking about how him and a few of his buddies, quote unquote, that he knew from college, and they were all in the same fraternity, that they all knew of each other's sexuality, and they all eventually, at one point in time, did things with one another. So over the years, what they did was they still stayed in contact with each other, and they all live in Texas. But what they pretty much decided to do was have some sort of agreement with, and he said it was like five, it was like 6 or 7 of them, where, and these are frat brothers, where they decided to um, pretty much form some sort of informal club where they meet up once a month or every couple of weeks or so, and they have sex with each other, and they let each other know about their status. They go get tested, but they keep it within this group. And all these guys are married with kids in Texas. Yep. A lot of these guys, I'm telling you, they have their friend circles, and a group of frat boys raped a little boy to death in my college as part of hazing. Yeah. Was it HBCU? I don't know, but I'm telling you, you hear about these stories all the time. Even in the fraternities, they sexually assaulting women. And let me tell you, don't get it twisted. I remember there was a huge scandal. This happened back when I was young. And this happened actually on Howard University's campus um, with the Nation of Islam. I'm telling you, listen, check this shit out, because even Louis Farrakhan had to do a whole lecture about it. A whole lecture, okay? Do these guys go for masculine women like it's beard? No, of course not. In fact, quite the opposite. A lot of these guys tend to gravitate, a lot of guys like that, from what I've seen, they tend to gravitate toward the most prettiest, model-esque type of women. And let me tell you the reason why they do that, the Barbie doll types, because it makes for the perfect cover to think that there's no way in hell this good dude could be cheating on that fine ass girl. And he's not cheating on her with another woman. He's cheating on her with another man. And here's the other thing too about that. A lot of times those dudes, check this out now. When the reason why they do that, and I'm not trying to be funny when I say this, but a lot of those women, they tend to gravitate toward those soft type of men. Those model-esque, light skin, very crystal clear skin having, just, y'all know what I'm talking about. Soft, pretty boy, church boys walking around with candy canes. Them types. It's not beta. That's not beta. It's not beta. This is some black. This is exclusively some black shit. These are the types of dudes that they get the best jobs, super educated, probably getting a master's degree or some sort of advanced degree. They went off to become dentists, doctors, and a lot of times too, here's a dead giveaway. They come from these very stable upper middle class black households, and they got a mother who was like a light skinned Barbie doll type too. If their mama is like really drop dead gorgeous Barbie doll type, and she just is always the type to always, oh, my son, my son, my son, my son. Yep, and it be so colorist, texturous, features. Yep, exactly. I'm telling you, that is usually the dead giveaway. Dead giveaway. And I'm gonna say something too. Y'all gonna be shocked when I tell you this. I'm gonna write a book about this. I got a whole bunch of book covers for these very topics. Don't be surprised too. The daddy, that shit run in the family. Oh yeah, that shit runs in the motherfucking family. The daddy, he be into the men's too. He be into men too. That shit be running deep in the family. That shit just don't. No, 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 no. That dad, he be at that gym. He be in them saunas. He was probably doing that back in the day too, to some extent, with his quote unquote frat brothers, taking their fishing trips and shit. And let me tell you, everybody got a uncle or what do you call it? Unfortunately, some of you guys probably got fathers like this too. Um, they be creeping in the sauna. Yeah, I'm telling you, those, and they be married and everything, got grandchildren, and out here literally hooking up with young guys from the gym and shit. Now that is a soap opera. Could you imagine if like your father? I'm gonna paint a scenario for you. You got a father who's on the DL, and your son is on the DL too, and y'all sharing the same lover. Wouldn't that be some crazy shit? That would be some crazy shit. Oh my god, you described Nate and his dad from Euphoria. Oh, that's real? It's a show like that, Euphoria? Really? That's crazy. And let me tell you something else too, ladies. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. If your man, if he loves running, if you got a man, if he's a jogger, that's a dead giveaway. Oh, I'm going to the woods. Because you know what's happening now, especially in a place like Atlanta? Y'all, let me tell you something. You know what these dudes are hooking up at? Dude, they ain't nothing saint, ain't nothing, what do you call it, sacred no more. Y'all, they going to the public parks. They got the spots. They got the spots in the public parks and the forest preserves. They know exactly. Oh yeah, meet me by such and such woods. Near this pavilion, that pavilion. They go deep in the woods, and they meet up. It's a group of them. They just be out there jacking off, sucking each other off, whatever. Apparently, Atlanta has a really big problem with this. Really big problem. Well, it's a problem everywhere. Behind the dumpster. Um, I've never heard of that, but yeah, complete strangers too. Exactly. Yeah, they just be like, "Could you imagine that? Could you imagine your husband? You've been married to this man for 20 years, and while you were at work, he's out there cruising. Exactly, Archie, out there cruising, just sucking off random strangers' dicks. Don't know this man's testing status. He could have syphilis, motherfucking, uh, motherfucking monkeypox and HIV. They going to malls. Now they got the apps where they just coming out the gate and they're like, look, I'm at such and such and such video store, or I'm at the LA Fitness in Douglasville. I'll be there from 8 to 9 in the showers. And they just literally go and they go and they having sex in the gym shower. It was a dude on the app talking about this just the other day. He said, ladies, uh, if your man is he's talking about he's going to the gym and he said he got to take a shower at the gym and shit. They don't even say too much or just be pictures of holes. Um, I don't know. I don't know how all this transacts, but they have a problem. But actually, this is the thing that's been going on for years, though, and it's not necessarily an Atlanta thing. This happens all over, even in Chicago. You occasionally hear about people getting busted for this in the park districts and stuff. That's one of the reasons why a lot of times they have park police out there because They know that this type of activity is going down. But that's why I'm telling y'all, ladies, if your man, if he ain't constantly touching all over you, if he ain't trying to give you, listen, if your man ain't trying to jump your bones almost every other day, either you have become unattractive to him, or finally what's wearing down on his mind is that he's ready for some dick. He ain't feeling no, he can't fake it no more. So at the moment he's feeling, he gotta go put a dick in his mouth. He gotta go put a dick in his mouth and go get some booty, whatever, or get some dick up his ass, something. And yeah, cause I'm listening to these dead bedroom stories on YouTube, and I'm like, how you low libido and you 28 years old? I'm gonna say this again because these stories are not about people in their 40s and 50s and 60s. These are people in their motherfucking 20s. How are you in your 20s and you already got a low libido? I've tried everything and I just don't know. Mother, baby, sweetheart, let me tell you, your man is either not attracted to you anymore, or he is Jay. He is Jay. Okay? It ain't no bad diet. No, 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 no. Trust me. Listen, I have been skinny fat multiple times, and I can tell you, even as a fat ass Negro, even at the age of 40, my libido is shaboing. So no, no, no. It ain't about no financial worries. You don't get that. Listen, a man can be. Listen, I have been financially worried before. I have been evicted before. I have scrimped and scramped. I have literally uh what do you call it? Scrounged up change out of my couch to go buy me some gas station honey buns, and I was still thinking, still shaboing, shaboing. Listen, that man is Jay, or your ass and got fat and ugly, and he just don't got the balls to tell you yet that your ass need to lose some weight, and you need to start. You done let yourself go. And more than likely, that man has let himself go too. Because listen, a lot of times, and I'm sorry, that's why I hate when some of these dudes they write these stories, but they never tell the full picture. Because if a woman let herself go, a man let himself go. If a man tells a woman, "Oh, you put on some weight, blah blah blah," he's probably put on some weight too. He's just not admitting to that. Because don't no woman gain 100 pounds and the man just stays the same size. Y'all both put on weight. So stop the cap. Stop lying. Stop making it seem like your wife just be in the house, just be all greedy, not moving, not. Your ass put on some weight too. So don't sit there and throw that woman under the bus like that. Don't do that. Don't do that. And see, I notice a lot of white guys do this. They do that shit. They do this. They call into Dr. Delaney or Delaney, whatever the fuck his name is. Yeah, my wife, she just gained so much weight, and I'm trying to get her to go to the gym and blah 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 blah. And I just know the motherfucker who's calling in, motherfucker, I know your ass don't look good. I know you don't look good. Because first of all, you's a weak ass motherfucker to go and call into a damn therapist complaining about some shit like that. Instead of just going straight to your wife and be like, look, we gotta lose this weight. We can't be unhealthy. We gotta remain physically attractive to one another. So what are we doing? Okay? That's number one. So you're saying real men don't do therapy? I don't think a lot of people really need therapy, to be honest with you. I think therapy, to be honest with you, most people, what they really need is they need to get their heads up out their asses. And you need to start being radically self-honest and transparent with yourself. You got to get real and raw and brutally honest. You can't, because let me tell you something. And I'm going to segue to really why I got on here. There's a lot of self-help advice going around telling people that if you want to get ahead in life, you got to stop worrying about what others think about you. And let me tell you, that is a crock of bullshit, guys. Do not. I don't give a fuck with any. I see this all the time on YouTube. If you want to get ahead in life, you gotta stop worrying about what other people think about you. Worrying about other people's opinions is holding you back. No, it is not. People don't form opinions out of thin air. There's a reason why people have certain perceptions about you. You got to take that into consideration if you're trying to get ahead in life. And you do care about what people think about you. You have to. We're a social species. We have to get along with one another. We have to use each other in order to get ahead. So what are you talking about? Other people's opinions about you don't matter. They do matter. Yes, they do matter. It matters when you're trying to get a job. You think you're just going to walk. If you were trying to become a lawyer, you get an interview, and you think you're going to walk into an interview with some shorts and sandals on, like you're about to go to motherfucking Cancun for the day, on a cruise, on a carnival cruise? No. You know you got to put on the best suit possible. Make sure your shit is wrinkled. Make sure your shit is ironed. There's not a single wrinkle in your outfit. Groom yourself. Brush your teeth. You know. You know this. Making sure your resume is polished, up to date, no spelling errors. You got to impress people and worry about people's perceptions when you're trying to find a spouse or a new romantic partner. You got to worry about what people think about you when you start a business and you're trying to get new clients and you're trying to impress people. People's perceptions about you matter. People are not just saying things about you just because they just want to hate on you. Even I had to come to this bittersweet realization. And listen, I want to make something very clear. Like, everybody knows the type of books that I write. It is what it is. I've been writing them now for almost a decade, and I cannot suddenly take that perception out of people's heads and make them forget about that. I'm the guy who's known for writing these smutty, hood smut, urban erotica, nasty, disgusting, hood erotica books, whatever. But that, I'm responsible for that. That is the perception that I put out there. And I used to get mad and angry and used to drive myself crazy wondering why are people always talking shit, or I didn't do anything wrong. People just want to have something negative to say and blah, 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 blah. But then I had to stop and realize and it's really hitting me hard now that when I look back on it, I'm like, damn, I'm like, dude, hello, you wrote a book about an old black woman fucking. You start the book off with her talking about how much she loves dick, reefer, and Hennessy. Get real. People are going to judge you and be like, what in the fuck are you thinking? What made you want to write something like that? You don't think that's a bit inappropriate? Is this porn? I mean, hello. But see, when you are in a bubble and you're just and when you're kind of to some degree selfish, you don't think about these things long term and the impact it may have on you down the line. But it makes you unique, funny, and creative. Yes, it does to some extent, but here's the thing: at the end of the day, that's also very limiting, and it boxes you into other people's perceptions because now it's not to say that I can't change that, but I have to now do a tremendous amount of work to make people realize, okay, I'm beyond that now, or I'm trying to transcend that. I don't want to be associated with that anymore. And a lot of people will never forget, and they'll never let it down, and that it is what it is, right? And at the end of the day, it's not like I murdered somebody, or it's not like I did some serious crime, but I can't also be so oblivious to the fact that for a lot of people out there, especially a lot of black women, they see my book covers and they're like, you obviously hate black women. Like, all of your book covers portray black women in a negative light. So there's something there. Do you hate black women? No, of course not. But why do you keep putting out books with book covers that portray black women in a negative light? I can say all day long, well, that's not true. It's just, if you don't want people to believe that, then you got to change your perception. So let me tell you, perception matters. Looks matter. If you want people to see you in a certain way, make sure your actions align with that and make sure that you are very diligent in creating the image that you want people to believe about you. That's all I'm saying. So when I hear all these self-help people talk about, it doesn't matter people's opinions, I'm like, first of all, who are these people that you're referring to? Because if you're a business person and you're trying to win over the approval of millions of potential new customers, you don't think their perception about your brand, your business, your products, your services, you don't think that that matters? People will judge you based on how shitty or how great your website looks. You ever go to like somebody's business and you've heard good things about them, but then you look at their website and you're like, I don't know about this. Why is their website? Why? How come their website hasn't been updated since like 1997? They still using shit that was made for like Netscape browser or AOL or some shit, you know? Or like the person trying to do business with you, but they using a Gmail account. Like, how are you a real legit business, but you still using like when I was deep in the urban fiction industry, there were all these urban fiction companies trying to sign people. Oh, we're looking for aspiring authors. Send your manuscripts to Boss Bitch Mika at uh, gmail.com. How are you trying to be a legit publishing outfit, and you have a Gmail account? You can't even and you can easily go and get a domain name and link that to a email address. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you want people, if there's a certain perception that you want people to believe about you, then you have to work on that, and it matters. You know how much power there is in leveraging the perceptions that people have about you to get what you want out of life. So when I hear people say, you gotta learn how to stop caring about people's opinions, I'm like, that's horrible advice. You should care. You should care what people think about you. You have one life to live. Why do you want to walk around always having to um why would you want to walk around always having to over explain yourself or worried about people's perceptions about you? Because here's the thing, let me tell you guys something. When you were very dialed into creating the image that you want people to believe about you, and your actions, your everyday habits and actions and behaviors are in alignment with that, then you're not constantly weighed down with guilt and shame or embarrassment or any of these feelings that have you constantly walking in self-doubt. See, that's something else too that holds people back, is the fact that a part of the reasons why a lot of times people don't go after the things they really want out of life is because you're too afraid of feeling inadequate, or that you're not prepared, or you're not skilled enough to go after something, right? And the truth is, you probably aren't. Because a part of self esteem, confidence, and wanting to put this perception out there that you do know what you're talking about and that you are skilled in a particular area or arena is that you know without a doubt you have the evidence to back up the fact that I am skilled at X, Y, and Z. I do know what I'm doing. I've had the experience in the field to go after this. Like, this is for me. Like, you can't just look in the mirror and tell yourself, I'm fit, I'm healthy, I'm lean, I'm sexy, I'm this, I'm that. You can't just affirm your way. You can't just say affirmations to just boost your confidence or your self-confidence. You actually have to get the experience to reinforce that. And then you have to have the validation, external validation from other people to be like, oh no, you look like you work out. What do you do? What is your diet like? How often do you go to the gym? And I'm telling you right now, I used to be one of these types of guys up until recently that I know so much about nutrition, health, wellness, dieting, weight loss, all these things. And you know, it's kind of crazy too that I'm even having to admit to this. The live was lagging. Did you respond to my Botox push? No, I didn't. Can you guys hear me now? Well, let me just say this. My dad earlier this year, he had sent me, you know, he had sent me this, what do you call it? This article about the carnivore diet, right? And then we talked about it over the phone. I was like, yeah, no, it's a bad idea. And I pretty much gave him the nuts and bolts and of why the carnivore diet is bad, and the science behind it. And he was like, Kobe, how do you know all this about health and wellness and dieting, and you haven't lost weight or you're not losing weight? Like, how do you just walk around with all this knowledge in your head and you're not actually applying it? And when he said that, that really shifted me, made me realize he's not lying. You can't want people to think of you a certain way and your actions don't align to that, your behaviors don't align to that. Change it. You're so worried about feeling unattractive, and then you always feel like, oh, I'm tired of feeling like, I just feel like people are always looking at me, and I just know people are staring at me because of my size, or I don't feel like I can't wear certain types of clothes because it make me look bigger, or I hate wearing this because it reveals this or it reveals that, or blah. Change it. It's hard. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to make it seem like it's just that easy to just wake up one day and be like, oh, we're gonna lose some weight. No, it's gonna be difficult at first. Yeah, you're gonna have to count calories and cook and get really active. It's gonna suck at first, but with time, patience, discipline, I mean, you stand a great chance of eventually solving that problem, where now you can be more confident because now you know you're back at a healthy weight. You know that you look good. You know that you work out and people recognize that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I started my tattoo removal. I know the perception it gives off. Right. And that's another thing too. That's why I'm saying that, like, a lot of people are going to regret tattoos. Um, once they get into, like, I can tell you right now, A lot of these kids that are in their late 20s and 30s, once they hit around 37, 38, they're going to be like, damn, I regret getting these tattoos. I regret it. Especially if you're a woman, because it just makes you look stank. But why? Because they make you look, especially if you're black. Because I'm telling you right now, and I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news, but let the white people go off and get their tattoos. Let them go off and get their sleeves and all that shit. But you gotta understand something. If you're black, you get a whole bunch of tattoos. You're just gonna by default look like a criminal. You're gonna look like a street criminal. So now, if that's the vibe and perception you want to give off that you about that life, then hey, all power to you. But I can tell you right now, the perception that it gives off to everybody else, when white guys go out and they get a full sleeve of tattoos and they're all tatted up, they're hipsterish, they look chic, you know. But when black people do it, black men do it, you get tattoos all on your neck, your chest, down your arms. You are going to look like you just got out of prison, and that you are in a gang, that you are affiliated with the criminal underground. Now, I'm not saying that white guys or people who are not black don't get the same association, because to some extent they do too. Because people just naturally associate that level of tattooing with criminal culture. And there's good reasons why, because just up until recently, it was only people in prison and criminals getting tattoos. People back in the 90s, they weren't getting tattoos like that. The people who got tattoos were like gang members, people in jail, people in prisons. I don't know when tattooing, when the cultural shift happened, but I can tell you right now, that was not a thing. It's not about that. Tattoos signal ratchetness, poverty, and rudeness. Yeah, that too. It and there's studies on this that show that people who more than likely get tattoos like that are also impulsive. So it's also a signal to that you just don't also make very good decisions. That you're just an impulsive decision maker. And low key it is, because I can tell you right now, every tattoo that I've ever gotten, it was just some weird, impulsive, spontaneous shit that it was just a bad decision. The very first one that I got was this one right here. My wife and I, we were in New York City, and I don't know what I was going through at the time, but I was like, I want to go get a tattoo. So I found this. It was just like that. I dragged my girlfriend at the time, who's not my wife. We went down to some tattoo shop in the middle of Manhattan. It was like 12 o'clock at night, and I went and got this tattoo. And then eventually, I came back a week later and got this tattoo right here on this arm right here. And it's a lotus flower. I don't know why, but why would I get that, a lotus flower? I'm like, what the fuck are you thinking about? And then eventually, New Year's Eve, it was like 2015, I think. I got this one right here on my forearm. It was impulsive. It's just impulsive. It shows impulsiveness. And then I'm sorry, but when I see a woman especially, with a whole bunch of sleeve tattoos, and and I'm not trying to be funny when I say this, but people with tattoos like self-control, in my opinion, I kind of low-key agree with that. I agree with that. It's a very impulsive, risky decision. They hurt, um, and then you feel like shit after you get them done. Like, you can have tattoos, but you dress nice and people don't feel threatened by you. Yeah, but what's the point of even having them? Let me tell you the reason why people get tattoos. The real reason why. And we could cut the bullshit out. We could stop the cap. People are going to cap about this. People get them because people are getting them as a sign to portray to people that, look at me, I'm unique. It kind of is narcissistic to some degree to want to like riddle your body in all these tattoos because you are making a conscientious attempt to really stand out and portray a certain type of image to people. Because historically, tattoos have either been associated with the criminal underground and then the other thing I don't get to is people. Yeah, I think it's a sign of trauma and tough experience. Yeah, I mean that's what it evokes. It's like you're trying to let the world know, like, look at me, Quan. This is a horrible take. It's art and expression, nothing more. No, it's not art and expression. You can't even see your own tattoos when you get them. Why are you getting neck tattoos and tattoos on your arm? You getting tattoos because you want other people to see them because you're trying to on your arm. You getting tattoos because you want other people to see them because you're trying to us. Unless you from Polynesia or some shit, and you coming from some ancient hunter-gatherer society where tattooing has been around for forever, it ain't no reason in hell why your ass here in America, in Western society, or modern Western society, why you need to be going there and get all them tattoos. The only reason why you're doing this is because you're trying to stand out because it's some narcissistic form of presentation. You are trying to, and then a lot of times guys are doing it because they're trying to evoke fear, or you are trying to portray yourself to be a tough person. Because if you see somebody with a whole bunch of tattoos, can you guys hear me? Can you all hear me? This is a terrible take. I get tattoos because I'm grown and I can pay for it. But why are you getting them though? Why? For what? What's the purpose? Why would you get them? And do you not care about what other people think about you? Because that is my other question. Do you not genuinely care about how you want to be perceived by other people? Because to some extent, I'm pretty sure you do care. I'm pretty sure you care. You got them. There was a listen. The reason why you got those tattoos, we're gonna be honest with you, because we gotta stop the bullshit now. You got those tattoos because they are a sub. First of all, you probably got them because they're trendy and everybody else is getting them, so you want to be a part of the conversation. You want to be a part of the trend. Let's just be honest. You see everybody else getting them, so you load it. Looks so cool. But here's the thing. People get tattoos, especially, and we're not talking about just you getting like, remember back in the day, people used to get like just like little tattoos on their arm, or on their wrists, or here, like things you wouldn't even notice. Okay, you are here getting full sleeve tattoos, your neck tatted, chest tatted. You are doing that because you want to be able to show those tattoos off to somebody and give off an image that you are about that life, that you can get down and dirty if you want to, because that's what make you look like you're a part of some warrior class tribal type of shit. Because that's a lot of the tattoos look tribal. Why did you get what you get? People are getting tattoos because they want to portray an image as if they are tough, savage, rough, warrior, violent. And really, it's a way of portraying, if anything, what it boils down to is a way of portraying hypermasculinity to other women. Exactly, Skywalker. See, Archie, you see how she let him? Exactly. You get those tattoos, it makes you just look so tough. You know what this kind of reminds me of? The dude who plays, what's his name? Oh my God. Oh, he's married, or not married, but he has kids with, so if someone wants to get buff, they want to be portrayed as tough. Also, this don't make... Yes! Yes! The number one reason why men want to get built and muscular is to give off an image that if I want to, I can get down and dirty and I can fight. I'm not fuckable. I'm not fuckwittable. Don't fuck with me. You're getting buff with the ladies too, but it's also about projecting power. These are all subconscious motivations for why people do things that they do. No, man, you think men not fuckable. What I'm talking about, fuck, like, don't fuck with me. I want to be known as that strong, powerful, masculine guy that nobody can touch me, nobody can fuck with me. Yes. That's the reason why, that's one of the main motivations why men go to the gym. Men want to be able to listen. We are a social species, and that's your way of thinking, bro. No, it is not. No, it is not. No man is going to the gym just to put on muscle, just to have muscle. What are your deeper psychological motivations for wanting to put on muscle? Just to wake up in the morning and say, "Oh, look at me, I have muscle." It's for some men it is the main reason though. Right, it's very but the thing is, a lot of men don't want to admit to this though. That's one of the reasons I'm telling you. A lot of men, they don't want to admit to this. They don't. Just like how a lot of men don't want to admit to the fact that their primary motivation for even wanting to work out, period, is just to impress women. Everything that a man does is in relationship to impressing women and making other men feel jealous. It's all hyper competitive. Everything relates back to sex and trying to be that guy, to be number one. Not impressing men to, yes, not impressing men to have sex with them, or, well, for some men maybe, this is just you. What do you mean that's just me? No. You really think, listen, dude, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Human beings, I think you're, I don't think you all realize human beings crave external validation. We need social validation. That is a part of the neurobiology of the human experience. And we are a social hierarchical species. That means that we do things, men do things to accelerate themselves to the top. So the reality is that it goes all the way back to the perceptions that you want to put out there. You care about how other people perceive you. You care about how other people perceive you. You do. So you don't feel better out there working out? Of course, yes, I like working out. But that is just maybe one of many motivations. But the number one driving, listen, dude, You think motherfuckers are out there? Listen, stop the bullshit. I don't know why people love lying. This is the thing. And this is listen, the health and wellness industry is a whole entire multi-billion-dollar industry. Not because people just want to feel good after they work out. People don't want to be fat. People don't want to be People don't want to be fat. People don't want to wake up and look in the mirror and not feel physically and sexually attractive. I hear you. I'm just saying we all not like. Yes, you are. You are. Do you really want to get fat and not look your best and have other people judge you? Everybody works out for a sole vain reason. I think a lot of times people like the virtual signal on this very issue. But the truth is that you do not want to be physically unattractive. Like, I grew up too much as a person to give a fuck about some validation. You only saying, listen, why the argument so bad? I don't know why the argument so bad, because these are life lessons that I think, quite honestly, sometimes people learn this a little bit too late in life, and I feel like I'm one of those dudes that learned this. And I'm trying to let you all know, if you're a young guy and you're in your 20s and 30s, you better get out that mindset very, very quickly. You better stop telling yourself that how people perceive you doesn't matter. It does matter. I want to be able to live longer and not be in a wheelchair at 60. That's my motivation. I'm 40 years old. But here's the thing. I'm not being dismissive of longevity and health as a motivating factor to want to work out and go to the gym and get physical exercise. That's not what I'm saying. I think you're missing the point here. The point is that everybody's underlying driving motivation to want to go to the gym and work out, they're not thinking about, I'm going to the gym because I just read a study recently saying that if I work out 20 minutes a day, it's going to help me improve my cardiovascular health. Sure, maybe there's like a small sliver of people out there who think this way. No, you gonna you wake up one morning, you look in the mirror and you be like, damn, I got titties. No offense, bro, but you don't be working out, so you don't know. What are you talking about? How do you know I don't work out? What? No. I'm about to block you. Goodbye. That's so stupid. And that's the thing about men. Men are so stupid sometimes, because here's the thing. How can you... This is the thing that is so stupid about men. And this is the reason why guys be getting so motherfucking caught up. Because then when they hit my age, then they want to start blaming women for everything. Then they want to go off on these tangents about, my life sucks and blah, 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 blah. And then having midlife crises and shit, because your stupid ass went your whole entire 20s and 30s, I don't do anything, fuck that, I don't do, being so defiant for no reason. And then shit hits the fan. They realize they hit a wall. They're not getting the same level of attention that they used to get. And now all of a sudden, it's me against the world, the world, the world. Like, look at all these Trump supporters.
That's the only reason why all these white men are out there going crazy, wanting to vote for him, and all this complete imbecile, right? Is because they feel they're victims. They're victims. Because I can almost guarantee you, yep, exactly. It's the victim mindset. It's dangerous, exactly. Because I can guarantee you, all of those old middle-aged white men that are getting up, going out there to go vote for Trump, right? These are the men who went their whole entire 20s and 30s just skating by, feeling entitled to having a woman give them attention and not actually have to work for it. Feeling like I'm good as I am. I should be, and I make a good living. I should just be able to go out there and get any woman I want, and she should just do whatever I want to do, how I want to do it, and then I could just become a slob and just, and now, and I'm telling you, men are so full of shit. They are so full of fucking shit. They really are. Every man deep down inside wants to feel like number one. But they don't want to work for it. They don't want to work for it. That's the problem. They don't. They are entitled. That's why you see all these mediocre white men. They're entitled because they see the America that they were told, all I got to do is just wake up, go get a job, and do X, Y, and Z, and I can have anything that I want. I don't actually have to go out there and really struggle and work hard and bust my ass. They feel entitled. And then they gravitate toward billionaires and other people who, at the end of the day, don't have their real interests at heart, because they think in their pipe dream, delusional ass head that they're gonna too become like Elon Musk or Trump one day. I'm telling you, men are so stupid sometimes. Like, you're going to sit up here and bullshit me and tell me that as a man, you just wake up and you're like, well, I don't work out for other people's sake. I don't work out because I care about how other people perceive me. I only care about what do you call it? I only care about I just want to not have knee problems when I get older, or back problems, or it's like, shut the fuck up. Because here's the thing. You do care about what other people think about you. You do, because as soon as you let your body go and people start not noticing you like they once did, or you start to feel invisible, or your wife does, or you don't get compliments like you used to, or like, I don't know why so many men do this to themselves, and then they end up complaining about these problems later on in life. It's like, well, you became a slob, sir. Like, duh. Like, why are you complaining about something that you can easily go out and change? But you're mad and you're entitled because you feel like it's not fair. It shouldn't have to be like this. I worked hard. And everybody swears they work hard and they really don't. That's another thing too. Everybody swears they're the hardest workers in the room. No. You don't work hard. You don't work hard. But a lot of these dudes are full of shit, because I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you, they want to sit up here and gaslight and say, I don't work out because I'm not trying to impress other women. It's a crock of bullshit. It's a crock of bullshit. It's a crock of bullshit. It's a deep underlying subconscious drive for you to want to be in tip-top shape to impress other people. Like, the whole entire weight loss industry is selling people, like when you want to try a new workout program, what do they use to get you to buy it? They use before and afters. This person lost 100 pounds after they did P90X, and they went from looking like blubber to suddenly they're ripped and got abs, chiseled face. Oh, I did carnivore and I went from weighing 350 pounds and now I'm like 190 pounds and I get all types of attention. People compliment me and I get more attention from women. That's really, but here's the thing. Guys are so full of shit sometimes. They don't want to have to admit to that. They don't want to have to sound like it's virtual sickness. They don't want to have to admit to the fact that, yeah, I'm working out because I actually do like the idea of getting compliments and validation. It's like they want to be stoic for no reason. I don't need that. I don't need the validation from other people. Okay, but why did you don't need like, shut the fuck up. I don't need other people's validation. I do it for me. I don't need other people. Like, okay. Yeah, but attention is a double-edged sword. It can become a drug, like seeking it all the time. But here's the thing. It's not about here. I know where you're going with this, but that's not attention seeking. No, it's not. It's about building a brand and the perception that you want people to have of you. Like, you got to realize at the end of the day, we live in society. You live around other human beings. Like, you want to make sure that when you walk in a room that you're commanding a certain type of attention, because at the end of the day, you got to realize life is competitive to some degree. And granted, if you're at a place in life where you feel like, well, you know what, I have everything that I want. I don't need nothing. Blah, 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 blah. I'm cool with what I got. I'm cool making my, but what if nobody compliments you? It's not about compliments. It's not, you don't need to have people constantly coming up to you saying, oh my God, you look so great. Oh my God, what do you do? No, you got to realize the attention is very subtle sometimes. It's not always about people coming up to you and being like, oh my God, you're so attractive. It's people being like, it's a very soft form of influence. Like, studies have shown is that even at your job, people are more likely to assign more people who, like, I'm dead serious. Look this shit up. Look it up. People in work settings who are seen as more physically attractive, people who typically are more athletic looking or muscular, whatever, or skinnier, are seen as more smart, more intelligent, and are entrusted with more responsibility than bigger people, because bigger people are seen as not as intelligent, not as disciplined, not as timely. Right? It's the halo effect. Exactly. It's a cognitive bias that everybody is prone to, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. So, but the thing is, purposely going out there, and listen, here's the thing. We honestly wouldn't even be having this conversation if we didn't live in the modern food environment that we live in, because we honestly wouldn't have a choice but to be skinny. Because up until maybe like 50 years ago, obesity was not a thing in America. Like, if you go to other countries, if you go to Japan, the motherfucking Japanese, all of them are skinny. Okay, so, but what I'm saying is, here in America, where 70% of the U.S. population is considered overweight or obese, you will stand out. Because by default, people are attracted to muscular, athletic people. You are going to stand out. People are going to have more of a positive bias toward you. That's not something you could just dismiss and be like, oh, that doesn't matter. What do you mean it does matter? Even it matters in your social relationships. People out here trying to date. Why would you want to? You say you don't work out for other people's opinions and stuff, but you're out here trying to date. You literally are optimizing your dating profiles and the pictures that you're using in order to put forth your best image and the perceptions that you want people to have of you, so that hopefully somebody can click on your profile and you can start conversations and shit. Like I really don't like it when people gaslight on this very issue. It's so annoying because this constant like beating around the bush, just acting like, you know, it doesn't, like I'm only doing this just because I just want to, you know, be healthy. And it's like, that's the yes, you're going to be healthy no matter, you're going to, listen, health is the byproduct. Like, it's always people who aren't attracted who gaslight on this topic. Yeah, but exactly. And that's another thing too. Like, why are you letting a motherfucker who is just okay, mediocre, average, doesn't have any money, fat, probably diabetic, pre-diabetic, tell you that looks doesn't matter? Why would you listen to, like, at least with me as a fat person, I'm telling you that it matters. And I'm actively trying to lose this motherfucking weight, right? But even that other asshole who was just who had the block, it's like, sir, what is there to disagree with? You see, and that's when guys, that's why a lot of them, they just are so full of shit. Because then they want to be, because then he, on one hand, he wants to sit up here and tell me that's not the reason why I work out. But then I don't know what I'm talking about. But you don't know what you're talking about because you don't work out. So you're weaponizing what I'm saying, but in the same breath, you're actually agreeing with what I'm saying because you would not bring up my looks to try to offend me if you didn't think that they didn't matter. You see where I'm going with this? Why would you even need to bring up the fact that I obviously don't look like I work out and then try to be dismissive of my argument? So clearly they matter to you enough that you would use me and the fact that you feel like I obviously don't look like I work out to then try to dismiss my, like, you have to be kind of stupid to not see the logical fallacy in what you're doing there now. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, don't sit up here and then tell me, well, it's just because I just hated being so skinny. So that's the reason why I started working out. So obviously you hated the way you looked, right? So you literally woke up one day, you was looking in the mirror and you was like, you know what? I am tired of the way that I look. Why? Because if we're going to be quite honest, you weren't just tired of the way how you looked. You're also tired of how you don't want other people. You're also tired of having people perceive you as being skinny and scrawny. Because if you weren't doing it for nobody else, then why would it matter? Why should it matter if why are you being scrawny and skinny? He was always watching my live. So yeah, and always trying to ask me if I'm bisexual. Like, why are you so invested in my sexuality? That's so weird. A whole random ass nigga I don't know with a faceless profile we're using. It's so weird to me. Motherfuckers just so weird sometimes. But you're gonna sit up here and tell me, well, I just hated being skinny. Why did you hate being skinny? Think about this for a second though. What are you comparing this to? So clearly you're comparing yourself with other men to know what you could look like if you put on more weight, so you can stop yourself from feeling unattractive. So you do worry about other people's perceptions, obviously. Because why does it bother you? If it didn't bother you, then you wouldn't change anything about you. But clearly you know that being a skinny, scrawny guy is not attractive, right? Exactly. You see how men who are very muscular and fit get attention. Exactly. That's just what I'm saying. He probably got triggered by the truth. No, I'm going to tell you what a lot of men do. I'm telling you, they love doing this shit. This is the reason why sometimes you can have these conversations with men. Because they could be, a lot of times men, they love doing, oh, women are delusional. Women. Niggas, men can be delusional too. They be delusional too. Because men always want to have this motherfucking hyper-masculine superhero, Superman mindset. Like, I did it all by myself, all alone. I don't need anybody else. I got everything figured out. I don't need anybody's help. Nope. I'm perfect. I figured it all out. I don't need anybody's help. And like, why are you virgin? Who cares? Why like, it's like this unnecessary form of pride. They don't like the idea of feeling like they actually do care about certain things, but they just don't want to admit to it because they feel like it's a form of weakness. Like, I don't care about what other people think about me. No, I'm better than that. No, I don't need other people to think about me in a way. I don't care. And it's also a sense of entitlement too. Exactly, Lenny. That's where I'm going with this as well. It's also a sense of entitlement because they also think that as a man, I shouldn't have to be that invested in my looks like a woman, because as a man, really, if all I got to do is figure out a way, because that to me, and again, they do care about it, because here's the thing. You ever notice when I started making those videos, I had a lot of men pop off on me saying that looks don't matter and that all you got to do is just make a lot of money. Now, why would you say that? Why would you say that knowing that 9 times out of 10 your ass is working a regular schmegular job making no more than $20, $30 an hour? You probably live in a basic ass apartment or a house, or you probably still live at home with your parents. Your name probably not even on no damn lease. You drive a regular ass car, and you're going to sit up here on Mark Zuckerberg's internet and try to tell me that your looks don't matter and that you got this game plan formulated in your head that you're going to just one day become a multi-millionaire and none of that will matter? That you'll be able to override? No, they're saying that because they know deep down inside they're not that attractive. And so they cope by saying, well, I don't have to worry about that. I'll just become a millionaire, and at that point, any woman will want me. They love saying that shit. They love thinking that they're like, well, and I'm like, nigga, you just ugly. That's the problem. You know deep down inside you're just not physically attractive, and so you use this coping mechanism of telling yourself, well, if I could just make millions of dollars, then I'll get any woman to like me. I mean, yeah, you probably could, but then now you're in a relationship with a woman in which her love obviously is transactional, because as soon as you lose your money, she's gone. Now, granted, you may not lose your money, but she's not in it for you. It's not genuine. She's only there because of your money. But a lot of guys have convinced themselves of this shit. But then these same dudes who think this shit are the same motherfuckers who you think nigga, you got a CDL. You drive trucks and you might make 6 figures, but let's stop the bullshit here. Because if we're going to be quite honest, not all forms of money women are attracted to. A woman would rather date a dude making about 150 grand a year as a social media influencer than to date a dude who's a plumber. That matters. It matters. Because that's another thing too. Why do you think a lot of people don't want to go into the trades? Because you could make money going into becoming an electrician or a carpenter or a plumber. You know why? Because a lot of guys deep down know that don't nobody want to date nobody who's a blue collar worker plumber. Actually, I have to disagree. Most women don't like their man on the internet. Now, listen. That's bullshit. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They would. You would date. Listen, if you was dating a dude who had a massive social media following and he was making some serious money, I'm gonna put it to you like this. Would you rather date the dude who got about 2 million followers? He makes about $700,000 a year, and he's going on trips. He's flying here, flying there, going. He can do whatever the fuck he wants to do. Or you want to date a dude who has a plumbing business? And he makes the same amount of money. I can guarantee you right now, ladies, you all in the chat may not want to date a man like that. I can guarantee you a lot of women would go for that social media influencer. They going for the social media influencer. They are. He has way more freedom, more. I mean, they're going for that social media influencer. Just like they capping. You see that, right, Bates? Exactly. Just like a lot of them would rather date a rapper or athlete. Exactly. Name the age range. 25 to 30. Trust me. ain't no 26, 27, 28-year-old girl. She ain't gonna do it. Because here's the other thing, and I'm not trying to be funny when I say this, but 9 times out of 10, a woman who she gets a man trying to date her and he's a plumber, I'm not ignoring your input. I see it. I'm about to get to it in a second. I'm trying to tell you this. I'm trying to tell you, y'all ain't gonna date a dude who's no damn blue collar worker, plumber. Because I'm gonna tell you something else too. 9 times out of 10 guys who go to the trades like that, they probably are not well versed in anything. They probably just did just okay in high school. I'm not saying all men, so don't get me wrong when I say this. I'm not saying all men. But 9 times out of 10, if you went into the trades, you probably were not the most academically suited. So when it comes to conversation but y'all don't want to date no blue collar workers. Trust me, you ain't gonna want to deal with no blue collar worker. You're not. And let me tell you something. Oh, and listen. Now, if y'all in the chat, if y'all working some basic ass job, blue collar jobs, you might feel okay with that. But trust and believe me, a woman who went to medical school or a woman who went to law school, graduated top of her class from a top 20 law school, and she's working at a major law firm making about $200,000, $300,000 a year, she's not going to date a plumber. She's not. Because you know why? Social reputation. See, this is what I'm trying to tell you. People care about other people's perceptions. They do. People care about other people's perceptions. Exactly. Exactly. Real natural essence. She would date a social media dude before she dated a plumber. I agree. I would never date the plumber, but I would date the boss who owns the business. But what if he's doing the plumbing too? Because a lot of times in those types of businesses, it's not like he got to go on site. He got to go clean shitty toilets and, clean out pipes and septic tanks too. He ain't always in the office, baby. Trust me, y'all ain't gonna date no motherfucking. Listen, I can tell you right now, y'all capping. I don't like rough hands, so no, I'd take a white collar LOL. See, exactly. Y'all, listen. It is what it is. All I'm saying is at the end of the day, alright, true, I'm capping for this, so I can't. Yeah, I mean, I'm not, don't get me wrong. I ain't got nothing against people who go into the trades. It is what it is. Everybody can't go to college. Everybody can't. I mean, that's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is at the end of the day, we live in a society that still judges people who work blue collar jobs, people who work with their hands. Somebody who's working you could give the dude could be making $600,000-$700,000 a year with his own plumbing business, and it's just a woman who. Now listen, if he's making that amount of money and he's a plumber and he works in the trades, he's automatically cut off from a certain type of woman. This is what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. The average woman who probably has went off to a professional program, professional school, let's say she's a doctor. This is even a better example. Let's say a woman who went out and became a cardiothoracic surgeon. Do you think a woman with an MD, cardiothoracic surgeon, working at Johns Hopkins, making about $700,000, $800,000 a year, is going to date and marry a plumber? Who's making the same amount of money? No. You're not. You're not. Unless the high school sweethearts, they ain't gonna. Most likely that woman is in debt. Well, if she's making about $700,000-$800,000 a year, she gonna quickly get out of that debt. I'm telling y'all. Listen, y'all need to get around some white folks. I can tell there's a lot of black people in the chat. Y'all need to get around some white folks. I'm telling you right now, they be judging the fuck out of people in certain occupations. I can tell you right now, you ain't gonna go to motherfucking living on the outskirts of Chicago or a major city, Hinsdale, Illinois, motherfucking Glen Ellen, Clarendon Hills, where you got people who are out here they own their own advertising agencies, or the wife, she's a VP of marketing for a major multinational corporation. She's probably making like $400,000-$500,000 a year before her bonuses and shit. You really think she gonna be married to a motherfucking plumber? She going to motherfucking after hour company outings and events and stuff. Husband is invited. He could barely even make conversation. Where would they have even met at? Oh, I want to introduce you to my husband. Oh, hey, how are you? So what do you do? Where do you... Oh, well, I own my own plumbing business. Listen, no. Y'all better get real. It's just, I don't care if the money's in the trades. It is in the trades. That's not frowned upon. It's frowned upon. It's frowned upon. You're just not going to be seen as smart. Now, people they're not going to tell you to your face, oh my God, you're a plumber. Oh my God. Oh my God, this guy's a plumber, everybody. Look at this guy. This guy's a plumber. Get out of here. You don't belong here. Can you even read? You're a plumber. Go clean the toilet. What are you doing over here? No, they're not going to do that. They're going to be like, oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting. Wow. I work in big law and it's frowned upon. Exactly. I worked in big law. That's exactly what I'm trying to get people to understand. Credentialing and education is all a part of your social reputation. Exactly. It's always okay. Exactly. Oh wow, that's pretty cool. And they'll make light conversation with you. Oh wow, really? Oh wow. Oh yeah, how did you guys meet? Oh wow, okay. And now the gossip is going around the law firm. Oh my God. Did you know that Sarah's married to a plumber? What is she doing? She's stupid. Like what? Like, you work for the second largest law firm in the United States and you're married to a plumber? Like, you mean to tell me out of all the guys that she went to school with, she couldn't find not a single guy she ended up with a plumber? And see, another thing, guys, you gotta understand something too. Not all occupations are the same. Some occupations come with a lot of societal benefits, access to other resources outside of just money. See, as black people, we get too caught up on the money, on just seeing the bank account. And I'm not trying to be funny when I say this, but you got to understand, one thing that we lack as black people, we lack social capital. So even if you go out there and you get a job making $300,000, $400,000 a year as a plumber or an electrician, that doesn't come with the same social capital or the same social currency as being a lawyer who works for a large law firm making about the same amount of money. And it's not about the free perks or the hotel. No, what I'm talking about is social relationships, connections, being able to leverage that to get other things that you want out of life, as far as advancing your career, or especially when it comes to like if you're an entrepreneur type, you're working in let's say in Silicon Valley, tech startup, whatever, they're getting access. A good example of this, okay? Jeff Bezos. You want to hear a crazy story about him? He worked on Wall Street before he started Amazon. And he was making some money working on Wall Street. He was making probably a few hundred. This is back in the late 80s, early 90s. He was making a considerable amount of money on Wall Street. And when he first started leaving his lucrative ass Wall Street job working in New York City, his boss was like, the people he worked for were like, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to do this? And he was like, yeah, I want to do this, and blah, 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 blah. Now, when he started Amazon, he left his lucrative ass Wall Street job. Him and his wife left New York City. Okay, check this out now. Here, listen to where I'm going with this story. He left New York City, moved to Washington State, to Seattle, bought a house, and started Amazon out of his motherfucking garage. Jeff Bezos was still connected to Wall Street. So when it comes to getting venture capital, when it comes to um, connecting with other tech entrepreneurs and shit, one of the early investors of Amazon, I believe, when he started it and he began to grow it and it started, making some money, when they were still like a very small bookstore, online bookstore, one of his early investors were the co-founders of Google. And if I remember correctly, they had early shares in Amazon or vice versa. I forgot. Either way, how did he get connected to the early founders and early... You see, this is all about your social network. As a result of his education, his work background, your network is your net worth. Exactly. When you're a plumber, what is your network other than other plumbers? What is your social network when you work as a social worker for the state of Illinois? What is your social network when you work as a call center supervisor? What is your social network when you work as a small mom and pop bakery on the south side of Chicago? You might be making some money, but what is your social network? What is your social network when you are a... Proximity to real estate agents and brokers are so important too. Yeah, exactly. But more importantly, in context of Jeff Bezos, remember this man, I think he went to Yale or Harvard, and then he eventually landed a job on another good example. Y'all want to hear a crazy story? The founder of Starbucks, Howard Schultz. Did you know he was also one of his mentors? Howard Schultz, the founder and CEO, or the former CEO of Starbucks, the founder of Starbucks, one of his early mentors was the father of Bill Gates. Bill Gates' father was one of the most powerful business attorneys in Seattle. That's another reason why motherfucking Bill Gates was able to... Him and his dad, they were like this. That's one of the reasons why Bill Gates is one of the richest men today in the world, because his dad gave him a massive head start as far as having connections to fucking intellectual property lawyers and patent lawyers, and just being able to navigate that type of intense regulatory environment, and then having well-connected lawyers working for you to be able to stop people from coming. I mean, like... Yes, social networks, social relationships, far more valuable than just having money. See, I think we as black people, we get too caught up on just the dollars. We just see a dude, and I used to see this all the time, especially when I was much younger. And I used to work for these call centers and shit. And you got people in there making like $100,000, $200,000 a year, but you make call centers and shit. And you got people in there making like $100,000, $200,000 a year, but you make $200,000. Yeah, you're making money, and you're making enough money to buy your house and buy you a little Benz and shit. But black people, we don't have good social networks. And let me tell you something. White, upper middle class, white social networks, they got all the money. They sitting on mounds of it. When they come out with new ideas, they want to start new companies and stuff, they talk about it at the country clubs, the golf resorts, the golf clubs, whatever. And before you even know about some of these companies, They already talking about, oh yeah, one of my nephews, smart guy. He went to Yale. He got his master's in computer intelligence. Him and his friends, they just moved to San Francisco and they're starting this new AI company. And things are looking very great. They're looking for some early round seed capital. We could probably go in and invest in that company, and next thing you know, they're like, oh well, yeah, tell me more about it. Send me send me some more information, or whatever. So then next thing you know, the nephew gets connected to the other dude, and next thing you know, they're like, hey, I heard about this great idea. You're starting this new company. How much do you need? I know some people back in New York. They work for this venture capital firm, and I could get you guys $20 million in exchange for like 20% share. And next thing you know, oh yeah, sure. Next thing you know, they make the arrangements, they got the deals, they worked out everything, got the legal paperwork, everything signed up, blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, 5 years later, this company is getting listed on NASDAQ. Valuation at like $88 billion. And now that white man, who all he had to do was, and he got a little, he was one of the early investors where he put in his own money, about $500,000 or $1 million, along with some other people. Now he's up $2-3 billion. And I ain't even talking about the Bitcoin shit. That's a whole different. That's some other shit. What I'm talking about is these deeply embedded social networks that exist. And let me tell you guys something about these social networks and why they're so important to penetrate. If you're black, it's going to be a hard time trying to penetrate that shit. And this is another reason why every time I bring up this subject about going to HBCUs, some people get offended. And I'm letting you know where a lot of these early social relationships and networks get started? At the motherfucking PWIs. The Ivy Leagues, Harvard, Yale, Stanford, University of Pennsylvania. I'm telling you, these. And the thing is, being black, we already are branded as not being as intelligent as white people and as, what do you call it? And Asians. That's the reason why these Asian people, they be so giddy to try to get their kids into Harvard, Yale, Harvard, Yale, Stanford, all these other prestigious Ivy League institutions. There's a reason why they do that. Because they know that is really where you develop the power. That's where you really go to develop the relationships, to leverage that, to make money. The creme de la creme. You're not just trying to settle, oh, well, I need to be around my people, so I'm just going to go to FAMU and whatever. And don't get me wrong, FAMU, they got connections, and they'll help you get a good corporate job where you graduate, get an internship. You might end up making like $90,000 out the gate because now you're part of some minority DEI banking program and shit, But I'm telling you right now, if I have kids, I am pushing them toward the creme de la creme. And let me tell you, you don't start preparing for that. When we talk about appearances matter, your perceptions, the value you have out there in the world, all this matters. You going to motherfucking University of Central Florida is so different from you going to like George Washington University in DC or Georgetown, or you went to UM And UM is a good school, but if you had a chance to get into Harvard, motherfucker, you better go to Harvard. What are you talking about? It's not easy for a black person to access the benefits of those networks. It's not easy. It won't be easy. But you better off trying. You better try. I would rather be the Negro. I would rather be, and granted, it might take some psychological toll on you, but in the end, if you could survive and thrive, you got to go in with a mission and a game plan. You got to have a strong core identity, because they will try you. They will try the fuck out of you. Oh, they will. You might have to deal with some racial bullying and taunting, but it will be better for you to deal with that and to learn how to navigate that and survive and thrive and develop some mental toughness when it comes to dealing with white people than to be so super comfortable around white people. I mean, black people. Because I'm telling you right now, if your goal is to really make as much money and get as far as you can, that is a sacrifice. You're going to have to learn how to transcend and get from among your community, the community, your own community, because it's a bubble. It's not reflective of reality. It's not. And don't get me wrong, I do think that as black people, we do need to have our own spaces. There's nothing wrong with that. But that shit is limiting. That shit is limiting. If y'all follow the Clark girl, she's a great example of using the network well. Who's the Clark girl? I need to look into her. I need a bedtime story. If they let us in, we are a token. It would be better for you to be the token. You better be like, what's his name? Motherfucking Tariq from Power. When his best friends with Braden, you better find you a white boy. Y'all better become best friends. I don't think she's talking about Caitlin Clark. I think she's talking about somebody else. But I'm telling you guys, though, I don't believe in token. I don't think that shit is real, though. Clark Peoples. When I say it's not real, what I mean is that I think well, actually, no, let me not say that. It's still very much a real thing. If you could get a black friend that comes from if you can get a black friend that comes from upper middle class, it's a good start, but hard still. Yeah, it is hard. No, it's we're a minority. We only make up what 14% of the United States population. So yeah, I ain't gonna sit up here and say, oh yes, it's so easy. No, the fuck it's not. It's not. America is still very much a very racist, conservative society. So I'm not going to sit up here and pretend like there aren't any challenges associated. We are the majority. They lie. I'm going to hold your hands while I say this. America is about 70% white. I don't know where you live. Do you live in Detroit? You live in Memphis? Where you live? You live in Mississippi? Atlanta? Oh, you're talking about on a global scale. I'm talking about America. I'm talking about America. I'm not talking about the world. I'm not talking about the world. I'm talking about America. And I'm not trying to be funny, but we might be the majority across the world, but baby, we ain't got shit. Them Africans, they ain't got shit, baby. They don't have shit. All they got is malaria, Ebola, motherfucking civil conflicts, corruption, grift, graft. They got motherfucking yeah. They ain't got shit. They ain't got it. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, baby. They got they got all types of crazy shit going on in Africa. It's a few stable countries here and there, like Rwanda. Well, I don't know about Rwanda, but Africa, no, 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 not even in the Middle East, unless you live somewhere in the Gulf, and even then, no, we ain't got shit, baby. Ghana is doing well. Nah. Africa got a long way to go to catch up to America. Got a long way to go. I would not want to live in the Gulf. I would not want to live in the Khalij. No. Africa got a long way to go. And the Chinese, they all over that shit. But I would never want to live in the Middle East. No, you couldn't pay me. You could not pay me. Well, let me not say that. You could pay me depending on what country it is. But I love my rights. I love my civil liberties here in America. I love due process. I love the white folks' criminal justice system over here in America. I don't want to deal with no Islamic legal system. They over there chopping heads off and stoning people to death and chopping hands off like it's motherfucking Aladdin and Arabian Nights. Arabian Nights, like Arabian days. No, I'm good on that one. I'm good on that. The Middle East has good money if you're looking for employment. Baby, you do not want to live over there. You do not want to live over there. You do not. Yo ass, listen, let me tell you something. The Middle East also has a problem with racism. Now, granted, if you're an American, you might get by. You might skirt by, but baby, you ain't. You want to talk about racism? You want to talk about racism. Listen, Arabs, I'm not trying to be funny when I tell you this, but they could be just as racist as some white folks, if not worse. They got a serious problem with racism in the Middle East. I see everybody. I used to work in Saudi, 6K, I'm on the tax-free house. You lived on a compound, didn't you? You lived on a compound. Who you used to work for, Aramco? Your ass lived on a compound. You did not live in any of those other major cities. I would not want to live in Saudi Arabia. You couldn't pay me. It's something terrifying about that country. Most people end up going to Saudi Arabia to work. They went there because of Aramco, the oil companies. And they live in compounds. And yeah, you're living around other expats. Yeah. Yeah, no. You could not pay me to live in motherfucking Saudi Arabia. Say no to المملكة السعودية العربية or المملكة العربية السعودية. I think that's how you actually say it in Arabic. You couldn't pay me to live in Misr, which is Egypt. You could not pay me to live. There's probably only Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait. Yes, أنا أتكلم عربية شوية. أتكلم فصحى And I may a little. I don't know. I've kind of forgot some of it. Why do you speak? MashaAllah. How about Ethiopia? I'm not living in no motherfucking. Listen, I ain't messing with if you. I don't get down with the brown. I know that sounds. Yeah, I'm Uncle Ruckus. My ass going to Sweden. She said, "Takalam." I can barely read this. Baby, I don't want to get no proximity to where they can get bombs over Baghdad. You asked me, can I talk about. I'm going to try to understand what you just said, Lara. You said, Takallam an alladhi al-rajal. No, al-rajal. What does al-rajal mean? You asked me, can I talk about which rajal? Rajal. Oh, DL black man, Arab man. Oh, you're black and Arab? What do you mix with? Where are you from originally? Yeah, that's what Rajal means, men. There you go. Yeah, Rajal. Yeah. So Rajal is plural. There we go. Yeah, I forgot. My Arabic is kind of rusty now because I haven't really practiced it. It's been years since I actually practiced Arabic. But I can actually read it and write it, but I can't just. Sometimes I'm like. Um, I don't know anything too much about DL Arab men. Is that a thing? I wouldn't be surprised though. I would not be surprised if there are a lot. I'm pretty sure that. Listen, there is DL Arab men, DL Indian men, DL whatever type of men. Men. There are, and I would make the argument that. Oh, Ladder, you live in the Gulf? What part of the Gulf do you live in? I will tell you that does not surprise me though, because I knew a few people who lived in Saudi Arabia, and they used to tell me stories about how, because it's like a thing that a lot of men, like a lot of Saudi men, have sex with each other because it's very hard to get, punani. So they have sex with each other and then, like, yeah. But that doesn't surprise me, though. That doesn't surprise me not one bit. I mean, it's normal for somebody to be gay and bisexual. So, of course, I already know there's got to be plenty of gay Arab men that are in places like Saudi Arabia and Kuwait and Bahrain and Egypt, and they're just repressing it. And that's really sad. That's really sad, to be honest with you, that people are not allowed to fully live out their, sexuality because of um, the repressive religious culture. I mean, that sucks. That really does suck, and I feel bad for a lot of those men. But I already know there's probably plenty of gay men and bisexual men in those countries, and they probably are having sex with one another. They probably are. And I would not be surprised, honestly. Oh, man. And I just know that the hygiene got to be off, because I'm pretty sure that they not douching and doing all the sanitary things in order to get their booty holes super clean in order to do. I know they're not. Because, that anal sex is not. Gay men just don't be, oh, I want to go get fucked today. They're not just gonna just sit up there and just, well, some might do it, who knows, but most gay men, bottoms, that's a whole routine that they got to prepare for. That shit starts 24 to 48 hours before they know they're about to have sex, because they got to make sure that they don't have too much in their stomach. They got to pass everything out. Actually, you'd be surprised, we have douches here in the pharmacies. But my question then becomes, so would a guy actually go down and go buy a douche? Would he actually go to a pharmacy, be like, because that I haven't voted yet. I have not voted. But I'm pretty sure, and it's probably so easier, of course, for men over there to have sex with one another than a man and a woman linking up. I had to look this up now, gays in Saudi Arabia, because I'm pretty sure that has got to be a thing. Oh, do you get the death sentence? I'm gonna read to this article. A 27-year-old Saudi Arabian man is reported to have been sentenced to 500 lashes and 5 years imprisonment by a court in Jeddah for the criminal offense of homosexuality, among other charges. He was already serving 1 year's imprisonment after being convicted earlier this year on a separate charge of homosexuality, among other offenses. Now, that's insane, because 500 lashes. That's crazy. How do they catch him? 9 times out of 10 in situations like that, what ends up happening is, to be honest with you, usually it's, and I know this is going to sound really crazy, but you got to understand, in a lot of these countries, they're very tribal, very clannish, and more than likely what probably ended up happening was he was having sex with somebody else within the family or their tribe or within the neighborhood, whatever, and somebody else found out, and it became this thing where, somebody got snitched on. Somebody went and reported him to the authorities. Because in Saudi Arabia, they used to have something called Mutawat, which is the religious police. I think the king, not the king, but the crown prince, Mohammed bin Salman. I think they disbanded it. But yeah, no, they probably were protecting another family member. And what they probably did was somebody went and snitched. they went to the religious police and reported him. I mean, there's that, but it was probably more or less like he could have also been a like the person who he was having sex with was also probably like a more prominent chieftain or like tribal person, or like somebody who's like very what's the word that I'm looking for, like, because they have like different tribes and different clans in the Middle East still, especially in the Gulf, right? And a lot of these some of these tribes have more social status than others. Like they are a little bit more prominent. Like they're just pretty much powerful families within, Saudi society. And probably more than likely that dude, he probably was messing around with another dude who came from a more prominent family, and somebody in that more prominent family found out that their son was having relations with this dude, and they were like, hell fucking no. You're not gonna mess with the reputation of our name, our family. Like, no. And so they probably went and snitched on him. It's a lot of these weird power dynamics like that in Saudi society. Probably were a foreigner. It probably wasn't even a foreigner, because a lot of times too, the Saudi Arabians, like the native Arabs, they have a lot more power over foreigners in a way that they could literally sit up there and rape a foreigner, like a Filipino migrant worker, straight up kill him, right? And depending on how powerful, if you come from a powerful clan or tribe or whatever, your ass will get away with that shit. They'll say, oh well, she tried to attack me, so I had to kill her. They'll figure out a way how to make up a story, and you'll probably get away with that shit. Because migrant workers from the Philippines or from Bangladesh and shit, Indians, they ain't got no type of rights in any of those Gulf countries. And they pretty much still got slavery to some degree in a lot of those countries. And like a lot of those migrant workers, they work as construction workers, and their living conditions are like hellish. Like they literally use them as slaves to some degree. I mean, they are slaves. Like they're making them work 18 hours a day. And then they go sleep in like, rundown buildings. No, that shit. Dubai is known for that shit. It's very, very exploitative. I mean, it's like damn near like slavery. But when people, because trust and believe me, it's a lot of men fucking other men in Saudi Arabia. Because I've heard stories. When I used to be deep into Islam, and I would go to the mosque, and I would have friends who lived in Saudi, and it was a running joke that Saudi men, they will try to poke your booty hole. Because one time, one of my friends at the time, his name was Osama. He was actually Egyptian. And Osama was kind of, Egyptians are like known for being kind of like pretty. Because they're not Arab. They're like mixed. They're like a hybrid between like Arabs and like North African. Like they're very different. But Osama was telling me how like, he was like, because he grew up in Saudi Arabia. Because a lot of times, a lot of other like Arabs from different countries, their parents will move to Saudi Arabia for work and whatnot. So he grew up, even though he was Egyptian, he spent a lot of time in Saudi Arabia. And he was telling me, he was like, no, like he used to go to the masjid, and he was like, one time, because he was telling me like Saudis are known for they're sexually aggressive. And he was telling me that one time he was in the mosque, they were praying, and he was like, this big ass Saudi man was standing behind him, and they were doing their prostrations and whatnot. And he said that while they were in the mosque. He said, I forgot the exact story, but he was telling me, what do they call the long gowns that they wear? Not the abaya, but it's not kufi, it's not thobe. That this dude, he had on the thobe, but he said when he turned around and looked behind him, he said this dude was standing behind him with a full-on erection, big old Arab brown dick just popping out that damn thobe. And that's Afghanistan that you're referring to with the little boys. Those are called a bacha bacha. But I believe it. I believe it. I believe that shit. I do think that there's a lot of DL homosexual activity. And the thing that's crazy about Saudi Arabia is that in Saudi Arabia, right? Let me tell you, you can't just go and get married. As a Saudi man, when you want to marry a woman, you have to have money, okay? And you got to go and you got to pay a dowry to that woman's family to get married. And a lot of men from Saudi Arabia, from Kuwait, and all those other Arab Gulf countries, they at one point in time, their economies were so bad that a lot of men in those countries were having a hard time finding work, and they were actually getting recruited by a lot of these terrorist organizations. But it's true though, because I remember even when I lived in Gainesville years ago, you know how many of these guys I used to meet? We used to have this one dude at the Islamic Center in Gainesville. His name was Brother Abdul Latif. And what was crazy about him too, and let me tell you about those Arabs too. A lot of them are in denial about the fact that they're black. Because this dude, Abdul Latif, if you were to see him, you would think that this was some light-skinned nigga. He had a full-fledged, thick-ass afro. Like, it wasn't no, yo soy dominicano, pero yo no soy negro. Like, it ain't no, I know black. It's not none of that. It's like, no, these motherfuckers are, those are black. A lot of them those are black people, and they just down the line. And the thing is, to be Arab, in many instances, they practice that one-drop rule shit. It's the reverse. Here in America, we got the one-drop rule. We got one drop of Negro blood, then you're considered black. But it's the opposite in the Arab world. You got one drop of Arab blood in you, then you're considered Arab. But the thing is, genetically speaking, like phenotypically speaking, when you look at like most of the people in these Arab countries, you do the 23andMe on them, they ain't barely got no damn Arab DNA. They ain't got no Arab DNA. They're like ancient Egyptians or Phoenicians or ancient Assyrians and ancient Canaanites and ancient what do you call it, Berbers. And they're the Arabs from Saudi Arabia, exactly. And even then, like, trust me, they took a lot of slaves from East Africa, from Tanzania and Kenya and shit. And a lot of them, you look at them like, nigga, you black. Your ass is black. You might speak that Arabic. You might have been born and raised in Saudi Arabia, but down the line, you got black blood up in you. Because his Arab, most Arabs aren't genetically Arab. We're culturally Arab. Exactly. That motherfucking hair of his, Abdul Latif, that man had a whole ass George Jefferson type of afro. That's how kinky his shit was, okay? But anyways, he was not married. This man was like almost 40. And you know, that always blew my mind, because I was like, he's old as shit. And imagine a virgin. That's another thing. You got a lot of men. And like Saudi Arabia, these Arab countries, they produce a lot of incels. That's the reason why they be gravitating toward that extremist Islam, and they want to go off and blow themselves up and join ISIS and shit. because they figured, well, you know what? I'm mad. The West is fucking up the Islamic world. I ain't getting no motherfucking pussy because I can't afford a dowry. You know, fucking let me go commit jihad and get my 72 virgins and shit. So, you know. But anyways, guys, I gotta get going. It's late. I'm gonna holler at you guys later.